So, the code of conduct here, there's not any. There's no honor, there's no respect, there's no morals. Um, Women sleeping with animals, men sleeping with children and animals. It's a really gross ass thing. Women jumping from one man to another, from one bed to another, and they have no problem doing it. This is all ran by our government because it is done in a manner where, like I said, how are you going to hire somebody directly out of a prison and make them work with the homeless people when they were in prison for drugs, or what do you call it? And then you give them a 4 or 5 month, course in how to be kind or how to not do drugs, and then they think they know everything. You give them a 3 or 4 month course in the Bible, and then they know God personally, and they're doing whatever, and they're converting people, and they're giving their testimony. The God that they're talking about is not the God from heaven; it's the God from hell, and it's what they worship. They took my God out of the Bible when they built the cross on it. When they started changing the stories and making them, they changed the stories around, they took God out of it, and then they put the devil in, the Antichrist in, and let people worship him. Because you can't go to a church and have sex inside the church on the pulpit, but yet they do. A lot of the LDS, we're going to jump into the LDS right now, because a lot of them, this is what they made. This is what they made. Joseph Smith was a grave robber. Period. He did it. He had a bodyguard that carried more weapons than anybody that's on the earth right now. He had like 30-something different weapons on him. Why do you need that many weapons when you're preaching the word of God? You don't. There's something else. There's an underlying thing there. Now, I know that I was LDS for a while, for 20-something years. I still hold the highest priesthood in that church, and I've always wondered why they would never allow me to give it up. And I have asked, a few times. Lucifer slept with women, and some kids are directly Lucifer's kids, the devil's, and I might be one of them.